So you're bringing out your first new music in a while.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
What was the delay? Because you've been quite
You know what
busy.
the delay was? The last time I released music, I had basically released a world record 54 songs in 54 weeks. And I think the intensity of that project, as much as I loved it, by the time I was done, I said, okay, there we go. I had started off in Nashville feeling like I was behind the curve. I had come at this later age, even though it had always been my passion. And so I wanted to make as much music as I can. After doing that, I just took a little more time off than I meant to. But finally, I released this new single, A Road and a Radio.
I really like it. Crowds have been going crazy for it as well, haven't they?
Well, it's just got one of those sing-along choruses that everybody... you don't really know, because when the band is all playing with you, first of all, you don't know when you're writing it. You think it might be fun if they'd sing along there. But then when your band is playing, it's pretty loud up there. And you think you hear some of them singing, and then you tell the band to stop, and it goes, oh, oh. And that's just kind of cool. As a writer, just seeing that level of involvement, everybody up on their feet, and arms going back and forth. So I was very glad I released it before I came here for this tour.
And also, I've seen footage of you playing Glasgow with everyone singing along, also wearing a kilt.
I was wearing a kilt. I made a promise to the people of Glasgow that if they sold out Barrowlands, I would wear a kilt. I'm going to be honest with you, I did not think they would sell out Barrowlands. They did it on the final day. They did it on the day of the performance. Completely coincidentally, I should tell you, I played Buddy Holly here in London in the early 90s. My dresser, the wardrobe mistress on that show, is a great friend named Mahari. Mahari happened to live in Glasgow. She was coming to the show, and I said, can you help me get a kilt? She's not a wardrobe mistress for nothing, so she got a kilt. And what do you call the thing that hangs a...
Sporran.
Sporran. Yes, I had one of those as well. And the second biggest cheer of the night after the kilt was I waited like long into the set, and at some point in there I just opened it up and pulled out a flask and had a wee dram. And it was just... That to the side, that was one of the most memorable concerts I've ever been a part of. That audience, that Barrowlands, first of all, that venue, but that audience, it was insane. And it seems to be that way every time we go there.
Yeah, they do. They really like country music up there.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, I know, obviously, country to country kind of started down in London, and now it always has a Glasgow leg. And
Nashville as well. The Nashville tour went through there, and we found the exact same thing. I think, to me, a lot of the answer of that is that whether it's in Glasgow or whether it's down here, you're hearing echoes of your own music from long ago. Like country music at its root was played on the instruments that were carried on ships across the Atlantic for people that landed there in North Carolina or Virginia or Tennessee, wherever they ended up there. And they played those music in the mountains there as they played them in the Highlands of Scotland. So I think you're just hearing it back with a different flair on it. And that's why it feels like this new thing, but in a sense much older.
I like every time you say Glasgow, you say it in a slight Scottish accent.
Do I really?
Yeah, you do.
I don't mean to do that.
Oh, that's brilliant. Back to...
You should hear me say Birmingham.
Back to Road and a Radio. Was that kind of written with kind of driving in mind? I mean, like you said, it's quite a good sing-along song, and then like when you're in a car, whacking it up.
Yeah,
Did you have that in mind?
Well, we were just talking about those songs that were road trip songs because they're so important and they're so memorable. Those things that when you're on the open road, you almost can't imagine not having a radio. I can't imagine not having a radio. Would I have to talk to you, the person beside me? No, we'd rather turn it up. And when you do that, there's certain songs that always come to mind. Everybody has different ones, but then we sometimes have common ones. And for me, it was always Tom Petty and Bruce Springsteen and the Eagles. So that's why it says, into that great wide open, onto that thunder road, down a dark desert highway, just a road and a radio. It's an ode to the mythology of just getting on the open road. Especially that's why it's with a rag top. You take down the top, you're out in a desert road just driving, just cranking up tunes. That's as good as it gets to me. It reminds me of a story I heard one time. A friend of mine was driving in somewhere in Los Angeles, and he pulled up to a red light, and Dave Grohl from Foo Fighter was in the car beside him. I think he might have been in a convertible. And my friend realized he had a Foo Fighters CD, and it was Hero in it. So he just cranks up, "There Goes My Hero," which would be another great road and radio song. And he wasn't sure what Dave Grohl was going to do, so he looks over like that, and Dave Grohl looks at him like this and goes... and just absolutely starts headbanging. So that's, Dave Grohl knows that well. The whole ethos of having a song turned up in your car, having that person you love right beside you. That's what that song's about.
It's amazing. Weirdly enough, these guys interviewed Taylor Hawkins from Foo Fighters this morning.
Oh, are you serious?
Town.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
yeah,
funny.
he's in
That's
town doing
amazing.
lots. It's so weird. It's a big Foo Fighter day here at the moment. So are you quite a good traveller? Do you actually like driving around?
I am, yeah. I kind of like it. My son goes to school in Colorado now. My wife and I, it's a 16-hour drive, and we don't think anything of it. We just get and go, and all in one haul too. Like, we don't necessarily need to stop. So, because of that, because of the radio. Now, it's different when your kids reach a certain age where they have their own choice and their own taste and everything. Back in the day, it was me giving a master class, and this is a group known as the Police. You know, this is a band called U2. And you get to feel like a genius and play all these songs. And they put up with that for a long time. They loved it, and that's why they have a really good background in music. But now it's them that are sharing the music. So we do this thing where we pass control right around. Like, so I play a song, my wife plays a song, my daughter plays a song, my daughter plays a song, my son. And that can take us for hours and hours. You barely want to get out of the car. So, yeah, I love it. I'm a good traveler in that way.
I love that. Everyone gets a go. I've been doing research for this today, and a couple of things popped up. There was a really nice interview with GQ that you did, where they asked, is it GQ, where they do the firsts questions that they asked you about?
Yeah.
I did not know you had a comedian background.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I actually started off doing. My first time in London when I was playing Buddy Holly, I got on the show Whose Line Is It Anyway? And so that's how I got on the British version of Whose Line Is It Anyway. When I went back to the States, I got on it there as well. And so I got to do that for a long time. It's funny because most people that remember that don't put it together real quickly when they see me play Deacon Claiborne on Nashville, because that's a much more serious. There's some humor to it for sure, but serious, sometimes a lot of pain and sadness. And so they watch that, and then suddenly something clicks. And so I get this tweet a lot. It goes, just realize Charles Esten from Nashville was Chip from Whose Line Is It Anyway? And they always write #mind blown. So that's because they're trying to picture these two things to go together. For me, that's just how it started, and I loved every second of it.
It's so weird though, because I must have seen you on it because I watched all the Whose Line Is It Anyways.
Yeah, absolutely.
I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant.
Well, I was also called Chip. Don't make me get my phone out and show you a sketch on YouTube.
I'll be Googling.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be Googling. Also, I really liked the story that you went on a game show. Your first TV was like being a pretty big winner. Like a noticeable winner.
And I needed it too. I went out to Los Angeles to become an actor, and I didn't have a lot of money. I had done some carpentry over the summers and made a little money in my band, and so I went out there, and I quickly blew right through that. And so I didn't really have enough money to stay, and I didn't really have enough money to go home, and I'm like, what am I going to do? And so I started flipping through the newspapers, and there were ads to go sign up to be contestants. It's Hollywood. That's where they shoot them all. So, and I was trying to figure out, I made a very intense effort not to pick the wrong show. I didn't want to be on Wheel of Fortune just because I didn't want it to be down to a spin of the wheel, like, oh, bankrupt. I didn't go on Jeopardy because I thought I could maybe do all right, but I wasn't sure I could be smart enough to beat somebody else. Some egghead would beat me at that. I didn't want to be on like a $10,000 pyramid or something because I didn't want to rely on a celebrity to have to win. So I found this perfect show called Sale of the Century. And after 5 days, I was the 5-day champion, and I had won $34,000 in cash and prizes. And because of that show, not only was it my first TV exposure, and it was a role, by the way, it really was, because to be a contestant, you're sort of a heightened version of yourself. And so I was like, hi, my name is Chip, and I'm from Alexandria, Virginia. My hobbies are soccer and people. And so that got me on the show, and the show got me on through the rest of my career, I believe.
What did you do with the money? Where did it all go?
Well, first of all, you don't get just all cash. You get a lot of prizes. So I get like a dishwasher, or a child's bed shaped like a car. So I had to sell a lot of stuff, and that's how you got some of the cash. I also got a diamond ring that I held on to for 2 years and gave my wife when I asked her to marry me. And I said, we can get a different one if you want, because it wasn't, strictly speaking, an engagement ring. She goes, no, that one's got the good mojo on it. That's the good luck ring. So
yeah,
she still wears that one now. So
that's amazing. That's a brilliant story.
No, I was very fortunate.
Oh. we're waiting for like a music video to come in for a road and radio, but you haven't done one yet.
I have not yet. I have
No.
to get on it. I'm going to head on back and try to, I think we got to hit the open road with a camera is all you got to do. Just find a desert, find a nice, it sort of writes itself, really. So I just want to get in a car and go drive, but that would be the next thing to do, of course.
Do you like doing music videos?
I actually have not done that many. I've never done one for one of my own songs. I did one for Rascal Flatts. I did one for them, and it was the first time I'd ever done it, and it's a lot harder schedule. TV's easy. It's all spread out and scheduled. These videos, they do them in 24 hours or 48 hours. It's a very intensive thing like that, so I'll have to find out, I guess.
That's what I noticed. Like most of the videos of you performing music are like live performance stuff.
You know, it's so funny you say that. I say I haven't done music videos. That's all Nashville was in some sense.
Very true. That is very true.
All those parts we were doing were live music videos. And then they would put montages on them as well. So that part's true. But I think, as I said, our schedule is a little bit better than they necessarily get at those other ones. So I was also in Chris Jansen's, Chris Jansen, Buy Me a Boat is his video. And he and I became fast friends. So he shot his video for that. And he's in a big fancy boat, and I just come paddling by in a kayak with a cowboy hat on and just tip my hat like that. So that was the depth of my involvement on that video.
I love that. Are you sticking with music for the moment? Because I know there's something on IMDb saying Outer Banks.
Yeah. I shot Outer Banks this past summer in Charleston. It's a show for Netflix. It's 10 episodes. It'll come out, I believe, in the United States. I think it'll come out in the spring. I'm not sure about the UK. But the cool thing about that means I shot it all summer. It's done. It's in the can. So I can focus on the music, which I'm starting to find out might be the real first passion, especially after a week like this here in the UK and getting to play Royal Albert Hall and Barrowlands and Ulster Hall. But ending up in Royal Albert was just beyond anything. And so it's kind of really where my heart lies. I feel very lucky I get to do both, though.
How did you get your head round playing the Royal Albert Hall? Because especially with sound checks and stuff like that, the place is empty and it is huge. It has a different vibe when it's full, but when it's empty, it is like vast.
Oh, I have this unusual circumstance where I got to play there first with the Nashville show. And I got to do it 3 times, which means we spent a lot of time. So the first time I stood on that stage and faced that vastness, I was with my friends. I was with Sam and Claire and Jonathan and Chris. And so we all stood there together and we sort of take it in that way. And you got these friends you're going to perform with and you got this incredible band behind you. And so those first 3 shows really were unbelievable. But that's how I got through it then. And then I thought, that's it. I'm not going to get to play here again. And then lo and behold, just to prove it to you, I was invited back by the Whose Line Is It Anyway people for the 30th anniversary show. They had 3 sold-out shows at Royal Albert Hall. So there I am again, now doing improv at Royal Albert Hall. So by now, I got to go back this time. It was my 7th time in there. But you would think, oh, this old place. No, same thing. Walk out on that stage just like you say. For me, what I like to go do is go sit out in a seat. Not even a close one. I like to go back and just, for that moment, be one of the punters, I guess we say, or one of the people in the audience that night and just get the sense of what it looks like to them, what they're going to feel. It lets me own the space a little bit because it's such an intimidating space that can work against you if you let it. You want to try to break through. It sounds strange. Obviously, all those things go towards you, the great beauty, the incredible sound quality of that hall. But there's something about its sheer augustness of it that can make everything a little, well, we all better be very, good and proper in here. And you need to break through that if you're going to reach anybody. So I always like to, that's the important thing, to find a way to do it in a special place like that. And
you do like to jump around on stage. I've seen some amazing photos.
You've noticed that?
Your photographer is amazing.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I have always had a lot of energy. There are a lot of rock stars and country stars they're a lot cooler than I am, that just to get to stand there and whether it's, Oasis just standing with his hands behind his back singing to 500,000 people. I honestly sometimes wish I could be that cool. But I'm the guy that likes to run around and jump off the stage. And there's a little David Lee Roth in there somewhere, I guess. There's some Bono, some of the posing, all the people that have influenced me. Certainly Bruce Springsteen is is a powerful and energetic performer too. So all the ones that really sort of moved me the most, I think, is what I'm emulating.
And do you feel like you are completely you when you're on stage, or do you feel like you're playing a little bit of a role? Because you kind of mentioned influences there.
Well, you just hit me with a question that it's like, that's a good
Maybe we
question.
shouldn't answer it because it might it
No,
might do your head in.
No, my feeling is, wow, I think I'm really, really me on stage. That might be the meest me. I'm not sure about that. I almost want to go ask people now that what they think, people that know me and then see me on stage. I think I'm fairly me up there. Yeah. I wouldn't. Sometimes you're a little. Your aspects of yourself, your facets of yourself. Just as a performer in a TV show, Deacon Claiborne was completely made of me in the writing. Yet I wouldn't say that's me, but was I in there? Yeah, I was in there. In the moments of pain, in the moments of connection to my family, in the moments of, happiness. And when I told a joke, I'm all over that. But the guy on stage, that's not a character when I'm performing. In fact, it might be. I always thought it was interesting thing about Nashville, and maybe Deacon in particular, is that if you just wanted to talk to him, he'll tell you so much, but not very much. But you put him behind a guitar, and he'll tell you some of his deepest truths. So maybe that's what I'm thinking of, is, get me up. There's certain songs up there that, I'm almost in therapy, and I'm telling you something that you don't tell strangers, but you're telling 10,000 strangers at that moment. So, yeah, I think that's an interesting question. I think I'm real.
You're real, yeah.
I think.
Oh, we're nearly out of time. Okay, a few quick questions at the end of the thing. Can you remember your first celebrity crush?
Wow, my first celebrity crush might have been Tatum O'Neal in Paper Moon or Bad News Bears. Yeah, I go back that far. The original Bad News Bears, and she was the young pitcher, and she was just beautiful. That might be it, I think. Although, to be honest, they weren't really celebrity crushes. I had a crush on at least 2 girls in every class I was ever in. I was always the one that just saw the cute little girl in the class and just had a crush immediately. Yeah.
Amazing. And how have we got to go now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Oh,
I'll leave it there. That was great.
Did I talk too much?
No. That was absolutely perfect. It was perfect.
We've got somebody else coming in the room, that's why. So.
Yeah. So we
Sure.
just put the
Oh,
studio.
you don't get to wrap it up?